The second way we're going to solve a system of equation is using the substitution method. For the steps to do these problems, we want to create 3 columns. In column 1, you're going to pick one of your 2 equations and solve for the easiest variable. The easiest variable is usually an x or a y that is by itself. It doesn't matter which equation you use, because in column 2 you're going to use the equation that we didn't use, and whatever letter we solved for in column 1, we're going to take that letter out of the second equation and substitute in the answer we got from column 1, and then that will give us an equation that we need to solve. Once we get that equation solved, we're going to take the answer we got in 1 again, bring it over to column 3, plug in the answer we got from column 2, and solve another equation. So as you see, I already have this problem set up in 3 columns for us. So my first column, I want to solve for the easiest variable. If I look at my 2 equations, I have a negative 7x, a negative 2y, plain x, and a negative 2y again. The easiest variable will always be one that is already completely by itself, one that does not have a number in front of it. So that means we would want to go for this x. We want to get that x by itself. So I'm going to take that equation down to column 1. And I want to solve for that x. So if I want to solve for the x, that means I want to add the 2y to both sides. 2 y's cancel out, and I have just x is equal to 2y plus 11. Alright, so now I know what x equals. So I want to take my second equation, the one I didn't use, and I want to write it down, but this time, instead of writing in this x, I know what that x is equal to. It's equal to 2y plus 11. So I'm actually going to take out the x and put in the 2y plus 11. And then finish out the rest of the equation. Minus 2y is equal to negative 13. A good, nice check to make sure you substituted correctly in the second column is you should only have one letter. You should only have the same letter. In this case, I only have a y, so I substituted correctly. So to solve this problem, this equation, you want to do distributive property. Negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. Y. Negative 7 times 11 is negative 77. Bring down the negative 2y and then negative 13. Combine like terms. Negative 14 minus 2 is negative 16y. Add 77 to both sides. Negative 16y is equal to 64. Divide by negative 16. And that makes y equal to negative 4. Alright, so now I have a value for y. I know exactly what y equals. I need to get a number value for x. So to do that, I want to take the equation that I had in 1, and I want to bring it all the way over to number 3. But this time, instead of writing in this y, I know what y is equal to. It's equal to negative 4. So I want to take this y out, and I want to replace it or substitute it with this negative 4. And keep the plus 11. So now we just have order of operations we need to take care of to get a value for x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 11 is 3. So that means my answer would be 3, negative 4. For our second example, we have negative 5x plus y equals negative 3. 3x minus 8y equals 24. So we're looking for our easiest variable. We wanted the variable that has no number in front of it, which in this case would be this y. So that's the y I want to solve for. So I have negative 5x plus y is equal to negative 3. I want to add 5x to both sides to get rid of it, which would give me y equals 5x minus 3. Step 2, take the equation we did not use, which would be the 3x minus 8, but instead of writing in this y, I want to take it out and replace it with what y equals. So I want to take the y out and replace it with 5x minus 3 equal to 24. Distributive property, we're distributing in negative 8, so negative 8 times 5 is negative 40x. Negative 8 times negative 3 is positive 24. Like terms, 3x minus 40x gives me negative 37x. Subtract 24 both sides. I have negative 37x is equal to 0. If I divide by 37, I would get x is equal to 0. So now I know what x equals. I need to take what I had for my answer in column 1, bring it over to column 3, but instead of writing this x, I need to take it out and replace it with 0. And keep the minus 3. In order of operations, 5 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Go ahead and pause the video and do the try yourself. So the easiest variable to solve for would be the first equation. And you'd want to solve for y. So you would add 5x to both sides. And get y equals 5x minus 2. Then we want to use our second equation. But instead of writing in y, I want to replace y with 5x minus 2. Distributive property, 6 times 5x is 30x. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Like terms gives me negative 37x. Add 12 to both sides gives me negative 37x equals 0. Divide by negative 7 gives me x equals 0 once again. So now I know what x equals. I'm going to take my first equation and take x out, replace it with 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So my answer would be 0, negative 2. You always write your x first.